pals, ignore that bit of hair. Hopefully you won't be able to see it too much. I just won't move my head. I'm in a very big reading slump, not gonna lie. I did one reading vlog a little while ago, and I think, I don't know, I'm gonna do a general reading vlog over like God knows how long, maybe even until the end of the fucking year, because who knows how long it's gonna take me to read the book I've fucking started. I actually can't find one of them at the moment as well. I don't know where that's gone. It's a small book. It's not like I've just lost a book. It's a book about that big and that thick. It's a book of essays. I have no idea where the fuck it's gone. But I did read and finish one book recently. It's a poetry book. The Witch Doesn't Burn in This One by Amanda Lovelace. I decided to read it because it is it's sort of similar to Rupi Kaur, I cannot say her name, where it's like mostly short form poems. So I was like, hopefully this will help me start being able to read again. And I bought this in LA back in January. Plus, I'm trying to write like kind of a chapbook, poetry book kind of thing, similar to this format, where it's a mixture of longer and shorter poems and also like anecdotal sections and stuff like that. So it was good for like some motivation. Plus it's very powerful. I love all the witch imagery and just linking that to living. Mostly as a woman, but it does also talk about other things, like she's actually a pretty inclusive writer compared to most. Like, she talks about how trans women are included in women. Love her for that, because no one does that. Paint your nails black, rub glitter on your face, take so many selfies, compliment all your sisters. No, not just your sisters. And hex any man who catcalls you. A note from me scrawled on your mirror. And honestly, I felt really called out, because me last summer for a start, and also me on Pride, big mood. And then there was this poem, fat women, old women, poor women, trans women, queer women, Jewish women, women of colour, Muslim women, disabled women, indigenous women, mentally ill women, chronically ill women, neurodivergent women, and all the people in all the margins of this page, together and only together shall we finally rise, 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 rise. No one will be left in the dark, dusty corners. You know, I just like being included. I know it didn't say non-binary people, it's okay, it's about women, and I also relate to what it'd be like as a fucking woman, you know, because I am assumed female. You know, fam, and that's my life. Even though I have not been named there, a lot of my other marginalisations have been named there. Trans women, women of colour and all that sort of thing. And it's really, it was just nice to have some inclusivity, particularly in poetry about feminism. Even Rupi Kaur didn't do that. She did it for women of colour, and I can't remember what religion her family were. But yeah, she didn't really include any of those other marginalisations. I have two books that I have been fighting, trying to read for like a year. Becoming Dangerous has been a bitch, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just can't get myself to read it half the time. I think I am 2 essays in. That's it. I want to finish it though, because it's sort of a similar gist of like the poetry book I just talked about, because it's like witchy femmes, queer conjurers, and magical rebels on summoning the power to resist, you know, very me. But it's just being kind of hard, and I'm not that like into a lot of what, I don't know. And the other one is Prozac Nation, which is, I fought my way through a lot more. And I love mental illness memoirs. But for some reason, this one has been really difficult, even though I relate to it so much. Maybe that's why. Maybe because I relate to it too much, it's been really difficult to read. Started reading a small book of essays. I don't know where the fuck that is, but when I find it, I'll talk about it at some point. And to be fair, you can see it in one of my blog posts. It was in a secondhand haul with some Greek mythology books, I'm pretty sure. If you want to know what the name of it is, if I don't ever find it, I'll talk about it again. I have 2 recent purchases here. As someone who tries not to buy many books, especially new books, I try to buy secondhand if I can. But I don't know. So this one I bought in a shop. Jean-Paul Sartre. I have no idea. It's Nausea. It was in the classics section, so you know, and just the blurb was very big mood. Nausea is both the story of the troubled life of a young writer, Antoine Roquetin. I studied German, and an exposition of one of the most influential and significant philosophical attitudes of modern times, existentialism. I don't know what that means, but goth. The book chronicles his struggle with the realisation that he is an entirely free agent in a world devoid of meaning. This bitch mouthy. Nausea evokes and examines the dizzying angst that can come from simply trying to live. And I was like, wow, same. I had a little look at the writing. It seems relatively simple, because one of my issues with classics is I don't get along with ye oldie time writing, except from kind of Shakespeare, because I studied it for so long, whereas I didn't really study classics. The one classic I studied was Frankenstein, and that's relatively simply written. I read a lot of simple writing with simple structure, mostly for younger readers, because, bitch, I don't want to admit to almost being 25, you know? So it's a book out of my comfort zone. So I thought I'd just give it a go. We'll just try. And the other one is The Woodpecker Story, by V.K. Jacobs of the RAF. My great-grandfather was in this platoon during World War II of the RAF. He wasn't a member of the army, he was a mechanic. He was a plane mechanic, basically. Like, he's told us cool stories and shit of being in the war and then getting disgustingly ill, and that's how he ended up coming back to England. But like, he's dead now. He's been dead for 10 years, and there were just so many things I wish I had asked if I'd known to ask, things like that. And apparently he did start reading this book as well, and a lot of it isn't really anything to do with him, but I'd still like to give it a read, learn some stuff about this platoon, because I would also really like to get tribute tattoo, because part of their crest says nihil fortius, which means nothing stronger. So I'd kind of like to get that tattooed on me with some cool calligraphy or whatever. Partially because of the meaning, because I've gone through a lot of shit in my life and I'm somehow still here. But then also because, for him, because he was a big, very important family member of mine. And he was in my life until I was 14. So, I got to know him, It's not like he died when I was a baby or died before I was born. He was a family member of mine who I knew and visited regularly and, lived near and lived with. Okay, so my reading so far, again, I started to read Heartstopper again because I was sad, and it makes me feel better. Hi, I kind of feel like shit. But thanks to my Twitter poll, told me to read To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I started reading that because I wanted it. I wanted like a book to read on like downtime of my holiday I'm going on this weekend. You know, like at the airport, on the plane, because it's like 2 hours on the flight. But like, I'm actually just really enjoying reading it. It's light and kind of fluffy right now, and it's been quite a nice, slow build. I don't normally like slow builds, but I think because I liked the film so much, it's given me a lot of information that I didn't get whilst watching the film. And things are like a little bit different. It's kind of why I liked reading Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda after watching Love, Simon, because it was similar but it wasn't the same. So I still had surprises, but I kind of knew what I was getting into, you know. And actually, this is probably the first straight book I've read in a fucking while. I don't read straight books anymore, so I'm really enjoying it. But I'm like a third of the way through. I started reading last night. I might finish reading it before I even go on fucking holiday. Which I suppose is good, because I haven't really been reading everything that I wanted to read, or I've like started reading and shit. Just feels really laborious, and it's just very heavy. Like Prozac Nation. I love mental health memoirs, but I'm really struggling with that one. And the same with Becoming Dangerous. Everything just feels a bit heavy in it, in the topics. And I kind of just don't want to pick up Nausea, I think is the other one. It's a classic. So I'm a bit worried that I'm not going to enjoy it. And I'm not sure if I am in the mood for the Woodpecker story about the RAF brigade that my great-granddad was in. I'm saving the book that I bought recently. I can't read it from here, it's across the room. But it's about Sussex, which is like where I've lived my whole life. I'm saving that for a video that I plan on doing eventually, where I read a few books either about my area or based in my area, because I think I have like a crime thriller book in the other room. But that's it from me. Okay, so I didn't really get a chance to talk about this when I was reading it / when I finished it, because I was away. And now I'm back home. I'm going to talk about To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I really enjoyed it because it's not exactly like the film, so it didn't feel like I had like the surprises. I had some surprises. But okay, spoilers. Spoilers. This is it. That's spoilers. When Josh kissed her, I was like, yes, get in the game, Josh. Get in the game. I don't know if there's ever going to be any game with Josh. There wasn't in this book. But I don't know whether she'll fall back in love with him again. And I'm very upset about that, because Josh is my number one. He is definitely the kind of boy I really fancy. It's disgusting, to be honest. You know, just very upset. Since becoming queer, figuring out I'm queer and all that sort of thing, a lot of my opinions on love triangles now is either because I normally hate the female involved, that sounds really weird, the girl involved, the woman involved, whatever, because she's always just badly written, not gonna lie. She's not ever likeable. So I'm always like, boys, just get together, fuck it up, you know, let's get gay in here. Or when I do like the girl, I'm like, just fuck it up, let's just get poly up in here, let's get some polyam going, you know. So that's kind of how I feel about this book. I'm just like, let's get the polyam vibes going, you know. We love some heated tension between boyfriends. I mean, I know they're teenagers, and I know it's just kind of not a thing, and I think the whole point of this series of books is to show your first love will not be your only love, you know, like unlike every other YA book out there, where it's like they got together at the end, you know, and there's nothing else, nothing ever happens after that, except my one true love of YA that introduced me to fucking reading full fucking stop. My Georgia Nicholson, that was a great series for being like, look, your first love ain't gonna cut it, bitch. There's gonna be many boys, you know, or many people, or girls, or whatever you're into, you know, except children or animals, you know, we don't support that up here. So I had many feelings, because I did really enjoy this book. I really liked the main character for once, even though she was kind of annoying and passive. But I actually liked that in her for once. Normally annoying and passive female protags piss me the fuck off. But it was just written in such a way where I was like, yeah, I get it. Got you, yes. You know? Whereas a lot of other ones I'm just like, just make up your fucking minds, you know, just do a thing. And there was a lot of character growth as well, which I really liked. She definitely became less passive as time came on. Time went on. I love me a bit of Peter. Even though Josh is my one and only, Peter could get it too. Like, fuck it up. I was just real pissed at the ending. I know it's a series, but I'm real pissed that I can't just put the fucking book down and pretend that the rest of the book's never happened. Because I know Peter is going to do some fucked up shit. Don't know what it is, but I keep seeing y'all on Twitter ruining it. Ruining it because the next film's coming. I'm pissed. So I know something's going to happen, and I'm normally the one who will spoil shit for myself, so I don't have to, so I can either prepare myself for what I'm about to read or watch, or I just do not read or watch it. Because I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. I forgot about my cup of tea. Okay, at least it's still warm. I'm trying not to spoil this one, and I will read the next books, but I think I might wait until the film comes out, maybe, or like around when it comes out. I have many other books I should read anyway. But I was real pissed that she didn't end up with either of them by the end of the book. No. And this is my Layla. This is my dog. You know, I was so dissatisfied. I was just not satisfied at all. I was so annoyed that I had been like avidly reading this book every evening pretty much for like 5 days. For nothing, you know, for nothing. Livid, absolutely livid. By the way, I really like that book. And I'm going to probably read Leah on the Offbeat next because I'm in like a squishy teen girl vibe at the moment. And I haven't really been able to indulge myself in books like that in a while, to be honest. So that would be my next read. I look disgusting. So, finish this. Like, literally just finished this. I basically read it in 2 days, but I had a day break in between because shit happened yesterday. I just want to quickly comment on one of the first pages in this book that I was like, yes. For me, this is... Where is it? Yeah, literally page 3. I'm basically a resident fat Slytherin Rory Gilmore because do I feel that? Bisexual, Slytherin, fat, have a young mum. bitch, here I am. I think this book would have been great for me as a bisexual teenager, and back when I identified as a girl, you know, tings. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this book. I definitely enjoyed it. I liked the character. Definitely felt me. Past me anyway. It's just definitely not what I was expecting. But also what I was expecting. I knew Abby was queer. I knew. I knew it. Like, I felt that in the film of Love, Simon. I felt it. I felt the tension between them, you know, fam. Because I felt that. I knew. I've been new. We've been new. We've all been new. Ignore my second chin. Also, my hair is really fluffy. I've just had a shower. So it also looks terrible. But I don't know. I wanted more romance. I feel like nothing happened for most of the book. I wanted her to come out to her friends. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see more of her and her friends, but it was all just... But then also kind of relatable, her feeling like she's on the outside all the time, not feeling like she fits in anywhere or fits in with her friends, other friends and things like that. Definitely feel that. That was me in secondary school, and college and university and now. So, I don't know, I liked it. I liked it for what it was, but wasn't quite what I expected or really wanted from it. Oh, hello. Yeah, I don't know. Wanted a bit more romance, but there was definitely a lot of tension, and it's a slow burn because this story technically between the two of them starts way like before Love, Simon even started. I just have many feelings about this book right now. Like, in some ways I'm satisfied, in some ways I'm just not, but you know, that's okay. It's a good book. I don't know whether I like it as much as Love, Simon, because Love, Simon was very fluffy. That's very me. Love, Simon was super fluffy, cute, love that. Whereas this was definitely a little bit more on the angsty side, and a little bit more like, I have all these problems and I'm not solving them right because I'm a dumb teenager. Which, you know, is YA, so I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that there was more of that. To be fair, there was a lot of that in Love, Simon too, because he could have just come out to people and solved a lot of his problems, but didn't. But, you know, it's complicated when you're a teenager. Everyone's a fucking idiot. And that's where I'm at. That's where we be. Alright, there's another book. So this is me looking at the book. The Upside of Unrequited. I believe that's the one about Abby's cousins or something, who I didn't know were queer until this book. Cause you don't know shit about Abby most of the time. But yeah, I like the representation. That was very, very me, because she was also single. Like, her mum's a single mum, and like in my teen years, my mum had to work quite a lot, and prom was shit for me too. I felt very fat and ugly. And we also spent about 150 quid on our dress. No, 250 quid on our dress. That I hated. No, I didn't really hate it. I hated how I looked in it. And I still hate those pictures very, very much. So, I don't know. This book's made me feel a bit nostalgic and a bit like, wow, me. Oh, I wasn't ready to be facing these feelings, you know? So, I'm just gonna go cry for a minute. And then maybe I'll read a different book. I need to find the next book I want to read. Okay, so ignore my hair. I've just kind of tightly curled it for a thing tomorrow, and it will like uncurl a bit in the night and hopefully not look dreadful. Basically, after finishing Leah on the Offbeat, I just don't have another book like that at the moment, even though that's kind of what I'm in the mood for reading, which is never great. So I read the first chapter of Biting Anorexia, a first-hand account of an internal war by Lucy Howard Taylor, because you know me, I love reading about eating disorders, mental health problems, and them being memoirs. I haven't even finished Prozac Nation, and I've started this book. I might take that or one of these books with me tomorrow. So I'm going to have some downtime after the music video before the clothes swap that I'm going to with my mum. I'm just going to be waiting in Brighton for my mum to turn up, basically. So I'll see if that actually happens. And then the other book that finally turned up, sorry for throwing my book at you, that finally turned up, I ordered this ages and ages ago on Amazon, and then it just never turned up. I didn't realise, I forgot. It was one of them things that I just kind of forgot I bought it. Until I got an email from Amazon saying, the seller doesn't have this book anymore. And I'm like, what do you fucking mean? I ordered this book 3 months ago. What do you mean you don't have it anymore? I cancelled the order and reordered it from someone else, and it finally turned up like yesterday or something. And it's the Borderline Personality Disorder Survival Guide, because I've had no counselling, therapy, anything like that specific to or dedicated to my BPD. Everything that I have learned is basically I've learned by myself. I did all of my research into the typical, the medical side of things, but also looked into personal accounts on like Tumblr and Twitter and shit like that to kind of, because I didn't have the words for it, and only like when I started seeing personal accounts was when I was like, oh, so that's also a part of BPD too, okay, oh, that makes sense to me now, shit like that. And a friend of mine recommended this to me a while back, and I decided, fuck it, I should buy it. And we'll see. It says you need up-to-date, accurate and accessible information on the problems you're facing and where you can turn to for help. Much of the professional literature on BPD is too technical and confusing to be of much help. And searching the internet for accurate information can be treacherous, with some sites providing useful information and others giving dangerous advice and misinformation. And this is very, very true. I've joined many Facebook like support groups for like a range of different things, and one of them was for BPD, and that I found that is the worst fucking place to go, because any of my posts always got ignored for a start. No one would respond to them, but then I would see these posts from people that came across as very toxic, very bad, very manipulative. The stereotype of BPD is what I would see in these groups that would be getting the most attention and also being validated. And it's like, sure, I understand how you feel, but those actions are not okay. And this is something I've worked on for 10 years, is developing like a rational side to my brain, because I'm very irrational. Although I am a Libra and I like to be balanced, and I am a diplomat and I am kind of rational, but not with my feels, And it just kind of really frustrates me that these groups are allowed to exist, because they aren't modified by healthcare professionals. Like the admins are also people with BPD. If an admin doesn't like you because they have switched on you, they could just fucking delete you from the group, So I'm a very lonely BPD person. Like, I connect very well with people with BPD when I meet them most of the time. There are a few examples who I have not been able to be friends with for numerous reasons to do with BPD. I say this because I don't believe in blaming your mental illness on bad actions. I believe in working on yourself and bettering yourself. There are just some things that are not excusable, no matter how mentally ill you are. Damn. The thing is, with having BPD, being friends with other people with BPD can be difficult because your emotions are so strong. It's very easy to just be like, done, hate you now, switched, don't like you anymore, you know, whether there's a reason or not, whether there's like something that triggered it or not. Like sometimes you just go, don't like you anymore. Like I experience that a lot with lots of people and lots of things, and I get it, but it can make it kind of difficult. So I'll see how this goes. I think I'll carry around a pencil to make notes in it, because books, like self-help kind of books, I like making notes in them. I think I have a mindfulness book in the other room that I've made notes in and shit. That's kind of it. That's my current update to do with books right now. Hey pals! Oh my god, I look like shit. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the books I've been reading, or recommend me a book that I haven't heard of, or maybe I have heard of, but like I should read it. And give me a subscribe, bitch. Love you, bye.